We'll be getting started in just a few minutes, so I hope you got your alerts and you're all gonna hop on. Let me know in the comments if you are here, or when you get here, say hello. And I would love to hear your questions. What are you seeing from your students? What is most difficult about writing? Why are they struggling? And what is the really big problem that you're seeing in your homeschool? So are they angry? Are they frustrated? Are they refusing? Are they doing something else? Are you seeing big emotions, or are you seeing quiet pain, something else? I'd love to know what you see in your school so I can address that in our live today. I'll talk to you soon. Hello, everybody. It's Friday and it's 1 o'clock. So here I am. And I hope you are joining me today for this live. This is a really important one. I hear this again and again from parents. What is wrong with my kids? Why won't they write? So I have had answers from so many students, and I want to share that with you today. Why they don't want to write, what the problem is, and a little bit about how you can solve that problem today. So first of all, is this a problem that you have? Let me know in the comments. Is your student not wanting to write? Are they afraid to write, struggling, frustrated, angry? Let me know. What are you seeing? So I hope that when we finish this live, we will see some of those answers there. And when you come back for replays, you can add your answers. So we get kind of a list of things that people are seeing in their homeschools. And I want to share with you what students are telling me about how they feel about writing. Okay. I want to start by saying, first of all, you know these homeschool families, the ones that look perfect and all pretty, and they sit at the table and everyone's smiling. That's not really what it was like for me a lot of the time. And I'm guessing that it's not like that for you too. Maybe your family looks more like this, especially when you pull out the writing. Is this what you're seeing when you pull out writing work? So today I want to start just by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm Teresa Peters. I am the mentor behind Discern to Learn, and I come alongside students. I take them by the hand, and instead of taking them step by step through every day and making sure they do their tasks, I help them to set goals, make plans, and develop the self-confidence, self-motivation, and self-discipline so that they can do that on their own. And when they do that, they will discover that there's nothing that's going to stand in their way, that they'll be able to have agency in their life. And all of a sudden, writing becomes just another one of those things that they can accomplish if they keep on doing it. And that's why I have students who come to me every single term with writing difficulties, writing fears, writing anxieties, frustrations, gaps, and all kinds of things. And by the end of a term, we're well on our way to being able to do persuasive writing. And I really want to be here to help you and your student. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about overcoming writing battles. Why do students avoid writing? That's really complicated because there are so many reasons that students avoid writing. Nothing is easy when we ask why, and especially not when we ask why about people's motivations and the things that they do. So what I have is I've asked my students, I've asked a lot of students, and especially in the past 3 months, I have asked and recorded the answers from my students. So in the past, I've asked them, but I started recording all of these answers and kind of compiling them. Most students that come to me, and granted, this is not going to be an accurate result for all students because the students who come to me are the students who are struggling. So the students who are struggling, and if your student is struggling, I would say that very possibly they are going to have some of the traditional anxiety symptoms. They're going to feel overwhelmed, hot, nervous, angry, irritable. Some of them, their hearts race, their hands sweat. Some of them feel sick to their stomach. We have all of those things happening in our students. So these are just classic anxiety symptoms. Anxiety, but you've taught writing. They should know how to do this. What are they anxious about? That's what we want to talk about. There are so many more things that students are feeling. So in order to get them to share and to open up and to be able to actually put words on this, because if you ask your student, they're going to look at you blankly and say, I don't know, angry. I don't want to talk about it. Right? Is that probably what happens in your house when you ask these questions about how you're feeling? So I have found a way of prompting them. So I give them a grid and I say, put yes in every box that you agree with or that you feel this way. And then you can also add words about the way you feel about that or other ideas and thoughts that come to your mind when you read about that. So when I ask them, what if I do a terrible job? What if I'm just a bad writer? Yes, yes, yes. I feel like I'll fail like crazy. I'll be embarrassed. I'll worry about other people knowing, and I'll just be a failure. Our preteens and our teens, they're afraid of failing. Other words that come to mind when they think of writing. It's not fun. My stomach gets queasy. I'll fail like crazy. I'm confused. I have no idea what I'm doing. One of my students has memories of being made fun of by teachers in public, in a classroom setting. That's terrible. Some other feelings that they have about writing, they're nervous, they get a headache, they're scared, they feel like they might be sick, they're impatient. One student actually used the word strangled, stressful at times, relaxing sometimes. That's encouraging. Discouraged, unreliable, unsuccessful, calm, tired. What if I screw something up? I just don't like writing. And here's some more. I'll be embarrassed. I'll be confused. Oh, sorry, these are exactly the same. What if I screw something up? this is something that our students are experiencing all the time. They're just afraid of not having it perfect. They're afraid of not being successful. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of disappointing people. They're afraid of disappointing themselves. They're afraid of disappointing their parents. And they're afraid that they're going to be embarrassed in front of other people. This is the real reason it's so complicated. If your student dislikes writing, these are some of the things that they dislike. So this is a very complicated mind map of all of the different areas that are involved in writing and how they're connected. And I'm positive, excuse me, I'm positive that there are many connections that are not on here, or there would be a lot more orange lines. So first of all, we have academic skills. This is the first thing parents think of. And they think, oh, I've taught my student how to write. They know how to write by hand. They know how to type. They know what a sentence needs. They know what a paragraph needs. All of those things. Excellent. There are more academic skills beyond that, higher academic skills, organization, critical thought, time management. All of those come under academic skills as well. And so those things really attach to the hard work and perseverance. Pushing through a long process, continuing that hard work on something that they don't like, persevering, practicing, and that goes back again to time management. They have to make sure they have the time to continually come back to it. They have to have the critical thought analysis to realize that I'm going to have to continue to work on this. This critical thought comes up again and again throughout writing. They also may dislike it for a fear of exposure. So you see these purple ones, these are fears. So students also fear hard work. We don't want to do things that are hard. Students don't want to do things that are hard. It feels like we've accomplished something and we're excited when we can do something that we can do easily. But unfortunately, that's not how we grow skills, and that's not how we grow as a person. So we also have fear of exposure. So when we ask a student to write, especially middle school, high school, this is when this changes. In earlier stages, there's less of a fear of exposure for a few reasons. First of all, in middle school, high school, we ask students to take what's inside of them, something they actually care about, and put it outside. So now we're asking them to expose themselves to others, to expose themselves to ridicule, and their private thinking is revealed. And we're also doing this at a time in their life when they are most vulnerable to what their peers think, when they care the most about what peers think about them and their ideas. So that makes it even more complicated because now we're asking them to do it at a time when those fears and anxieties are the highest, probably in their entire lives. Topic generation is so difficult. This is why it's really a great idea to give them a list of topics to choose from, because when they have to choose a topic, the topic can't be too hard, because if it's too hard, they won't be able to do it well enough to feel that they can put it out there and not be embarrassed by it. If it's too easy, it might be childish, and maybe people will make fun of them for being childish. If it's too personal, they don't want to put too much of themselves out there. So topic generation is really hard, and it's anxiety-ridden. Students are afraid to choose because they feel that there should be a right answer and a wrong answer, and really there's not. But they also are afraid of putting those ideas on paper where other people can see them. Even if it's just you, even if you don't make fun of your child for writing, that doesn't mean that they don't feel vulnerable. They're going to feel vulnerable. Writing is a very vulnerable process. And we have the fear of failure. This is huge, especially as students get a little bit older. They start to recognize that other people do this, or that they should be able to do this, or they want to be able to succeed, but they're afraid that they won't be able to. I've had students say to me, it's so much easier to not try hard and not do well than it is to try hard and fail. Really think about that. They would rather not try hard, because at least if they don't do well, they can say, well, I could have done it if I had tried harder. So these are our students. They have fear of failing. They're afraid of what it's going to mean. They have perfectionism. They don't want to hand it in until it's absolutely perfect. And that never happens. So it's very, very difficult. So we have fear of failure. Writing feels like a very subjective thing. Maybe they don't understand how to win that game. Maybe they don't know what is exactly required of them in order to, quote, succeed, whatever that means in your homeschool. They don't know whether or not they have what it takes. Maybe they feel that they have gaps in some of the learning areas. Maybe they have gaps in sentence structure or spelling or grammar or knowing how to put a paragraph together. Maybe they just don't know what to put in their paragraphs. That's a huge one. They just don't know what to write about. What am I supposed to say anyway? That's the right thing to say, because we want to say what's right. We want to give the right answer so that we can be successful. So that also means that when they look around for examples of what it is to be a good writer, they only ever see either published authors, which they can't compete with, or their parents, or teachers, so who always seem to have the answer, and their writing is naturally always better, we hope. So if every time they see someone in their life they only see people who can write better than them, then they feel that they're just way behind and they can't keep up. They can't catch up. They can't imagine that they could even get there, because how are they going to get there? They don't see a path in front of them for getting there. And all of this fear of failure really comes back to fear. It comes back to learning gaps. So there are so many small pieces that go into writing. Persuasive paragraphs, persuasive essays, research papers, all of those things. There's so many pieces in them. And any one of those pieces, they might struggle to some degree or another with. They may struggle also with staying on task and self-motivation. They may struggle with breaking a large project down into a small project because we have project management. There's just so many pieces that come into play when it comes to writing. So is it really any wonder that our young people are feeling overwhelmed and afraid to write? I think that really it should surprise us if they don't. We should be wondering about those students. Why? What skills do they have? Because they're really the ones that are in the minority. Most students struggle with these things. So we also have the later academic skills development. So this is part of the project management. When you write an essay, or when you read a long book, or when you write a persuasive paragraph, or you do a research paper, that's a big, long project. And students need to learn how to break it down to pieces, how to organize, do things in a logical order. They need some sort of process or structure that they can follow so that they know that they can win at this game. They don't want to just hand in a paper and be told, yeah, that's a C, because that doesn't help them to know how they can improve it. And they also don't want every single error circled, because that's disheartening as well. They also need critical thinking. So writing is really a critical thinking piece. Writing is so important as a success skill in life, because it helps us to be able to understand what the problem is, how we can solve the problem, and why it's going to matter. That piece, the why it's going to matter, or being able to reason about the research they're doing, if it's logical, if it makes sense, all of those pieces, they all come into play when it comes to writing. So it's really, really important that students get that piece. Then we have time management and self-discipline, self-motivation. They all come together in a bundle, all of those things. And this is something that most students struggle with. It's a learned behavior. And sometimes they struggle with it because we overmanage them. Sometimes they struggle with it because, well, it's just a hard skill. It's just a hard skill. But parents, a hard question for you is, are you willing to let them fail? Because that's how they really are going to learn. these skills the most. They need to know that they can do it themselves, and that comes in a process of failure and growth. So growth mindset is really important in that process. So, and then we have personal development, the self-confidence to put yourself out there, dealing with that fear of failure, being able to persevere and come back day after day after day and work on the skills that we know we need to work on in order to be successful, and continue to do that even when we don't want to. That's hard for us all, isn't it? That's hard for us all. So that is a lot, but don't give up. Don't give up, because there's hope. So what now? First of all, I want to encourage you to talk to your student about it. Sometimes it's very difficult to get your child to open up and to tell you how they're feeling and what's going on. I have to admit that my own children would prefer not to talk to me about it. They'd really prefer to talk to someone else. And I have very little difficulty getting students to tell me how they're feeling, but it's a lot different when it's my own child. And I'm not sure why that is. I have a lot of suppositions about that, but go ahead, talk to them, try to understand, try to help them to know that you understand what's happening. And it's really important that we get buy-in. So your student has to know why it matters that they learn these things, and they have to want that to some degree, in order for them to be able to be self-motivated and self-disciplined. So in my courses, buy-in is huge. If I can't get buy-in from a student, then I can't have them in my classroom. Because if the student really doesn't want to develop the skills to create life success, if they're not willing to invest themselves in that process, it doesn't matter how much fighting and struggling we all do, it's not going to work. So in my program, I have a peer accountability class. So the class is peer accountable, which also means that we need positive peer pressure there. And so getting buy-in is huge for my classes. Everyone in my class is there because they've bought into it. Like they have actually chosen to set aside time to make a difference in their academics, to make a difference in their life. And that's huge. What can you do to help your student buy in? And we need to build confidence through growth mindset, to teach them that they fail now, and then we make a plan and we move forward. It's okay to fail. Failure is how we learn. Failure is how we grow. And the writing process is perfect for that, because that's what the writing process is all about. The writing process is about starting with an unfinished piece and continuing to improve and improve and improve. So the writing process is the perfect way to teach growth mindset. So far I've told you what to do, but not how to do it. So do you want to know how to do this? Join me today. I have a webinar at 3:00 Central. Maybe you're watching a replay of this and this webinar is over. You can still go to the link that I'm going to put in the Facebook group there on the chat, and you can book another webinar. There'll be webinars coming up. You can also download the e-guide at tutor.discerntolearn.com. Find out how I do it. This is the e-guide called 12 Weeks to Writing Confidence, how I do it and how you can too. And you absolutely can do this. I lay out the program for you. Obviously not all the minute pieces, but how I do what I do so that you can learn from it. And I would love to talk to you more about how we can work together to help your student achieve writing confidence, personal confidence, and most importantly, life success. Because writing and school and all the things that we do are really about life success and developing the skills and habits that we need to be successful as adults. If you would like more information, discerntolearn.com is where you can find it. You can message me. I'm happy to talk more with you. I would love to hear about your difficulties and concerns for your student and your goals. What is it that you have as a goal for your student? So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. And I can't wait to hear from you. I hope to see you in the webinar, and I will talk to you very, very soon.